Wow, it looks real cheerful when he waves. And we are checking out the Fire Mage this time around. And I'm about to run into a thing. Alright, cool. Oh, great. Already made it to where I wanted to go. Alright, so fire, ignite enemies with balls of fire and combustive flames. Fire Blast, take that. Fireball is a primary range attack. Pyroblast, strong range attack with a long cast time. You dead. Hot Streak is a passive. 2 critical strikes in a row will cause your next Pyroblast or Flame Strike to be instant cast. So I can tell that stacking crit is going to be something important here. So I was checking to see if they had other gear, because like the Druid, I had 4 sets of gear in my bag when I created it, so I wanted to see if they had one that like gave more crit or something. Fire Blast is a range attack with a short cooldown, always deals a critical strike. So that's actually something where like that would be something useful, where you could just be like boom,
I need a target.
and boom, and then free Pyroblast. Or I guess not free, but like you can do that, or Flame Strike. Alright, there we go. Look how it looks. And I've got it set up so it does an AoE thing as well. Combustion, spell with a long cooldown that causes all your spells to deal critical strikes for a short time. So yet another thing that can make it, can trigger your hot streak. Kind of cool. And then Scorch, weaker range attack that can be cast while moving. So, let's see. See? Look, I'm moving. Yeah. Heating up. Hot streak! On fire! Man, I wonder if I get a slam dunk, if it's gonna catch the net on fire. For you fans of the old, I think it was NBA Jam, right? Alright, let's take a look at the talents here. So, Pyromaniac, casting Pyroblast or Flame Strike while Hot Streak is active, has a 8%? That should be an 8%. Come on, Blizzard. 8% chance to instantly reactivate Hot Streak. So that's cool. So basically, the thing that... So you get 2 crits, get a instant cast of one of those 2 spells, you have a slight chance to be able to instant cast them again. Not too shabby. However, I went with Conflagration. The Fireball applies Conflagration to the target, dealing an additional bit of fire damage over 8 seconds. Enemies affected by Conflagration or Ignite have a 10% chance to flare up and deal fire damage to nearby enemies. And Scorch. Boom. Heating up. I don't know why I like that so much. Hot Streak. Pyroblast. Ooh, that crit. Nice. Let's drop a Flame Strike. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, so fire is actually really fun. I was messing around with it a bit before, and it's really fun. And the last one for level 15 is Fireball spell always deals a critical strike when the target is above 85% health. So basically, you lob that right at the start of a fight. For instance, you're going to get a crit. I still kind of like this one, though Firestarter may be a close second for running around solo, possibly. I'd have to maybe try them out a bit. I went with Shimmer again, in case you weren't watching or you haven't checked out the Arcane video. Basically, it replaces Blink. You get 2 charges of it, but it basically works like Blink, and it's off the global cooldown. So like I can be casting Scorch and Blink forward to kill the guy. Oh, this is actually something else, just in case you weren't aware. Here, or it may have changed from the game before this. Fire Blast is unaffected by the global cooldown, and you can cast it while casting. So you might have noticed I actually did that there. So I had Scorch going, and then Fire Blasted, and they killed the thing. So I can walk around with that, and I can kill things instantly, or at least at this level, in this area. So that's just kind of a cool little feature. And then there's Cauterize. So just trying to sum it up real fast, or you can pause and read it there. Video's hopefully good enough quality. Um, instead of dying, you get left at 35% health. You then start to burn and take damage. So it's a precautionary measure to keep you alive, but you do lose health a little bit as it goes. While you are burning though and taking that damage, you can't be slowed, and your movement speed's actually increased. But then this effect can't occur more than once every 2 minutes. And then Cold Snap Iceblock has 2 charges, and when you use it, it heals you 3% of your max health for every 1 second. So it gives you about 30% of your health back. So some of these are really kind of the same. Mirror Image creates a copy or 3 copies of you nearby, which cast spells and attack your enemies. Rune of Power places Rune of Power on the ground for 10 seconds, increases spell damage by 50% while you stand in it. And Incanter's Flow, so I went with this again. Basically, while in combat, you get a buff that goes up to, it increases up to giving you 20% increased damage, and then goes down to 4% increased damage, and it just cycles through every 10 seconds while you remain in combat. And Flame Strike. Alright. Let's just attack him. Come on, whack him. Yeah, so I kind of like that one. It's just a passive little, you just get some extra damage constantly. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't know exactly how powerful Mirror Image is. It's something you probably have to test out a little bit. This one here, I got Blast Wave, instant cast spell, causing an explosion around the target enemy. Does some fire damage to all enemies around them, reduces their movement speed by 70% for 4 seconds, and the primary target will take increased damage. So let's actually try that one out real quick. If it'll work, it should be instant. Let me check something here. Well, we should run into the same thing as with the last video. I don't know if it's going off my internet or if it's the PTR because they're getting ready to shut it down or what, but the other option here is, or one of the other options here is Flame On. Immediately grants 2 charges of Fire Blast and Controlled Burn. When you gain Heating Up, you have a 10% chance to instantly activate Hot Streak. So basically, your first crit, you have a slight chance for it to act as if you got 2 for the purposes of that passive. Kind of cool. And 2 charges of Fire Blast. Oh, okay, yeah. So Fire Blast is this guy here. So you just hit that thing. Like you can pop it twice, hit that, pop it twice again. 45-second cooldown actually isn't terrible. Man, it kind of bugs that it keeps doing this. I'm almost positive it's something with the servers, because I know like I've not having any issues running other stuff like videos and whatnot tonight. So I went with Ice Flows again. Lets you be able to cast while moving and it has 3 charges. As soon as you cast the spell, though, it will you'll have to use it again before you can start casting something again while moving. Ring of Frost, so I mean these abilities are kind of the same. Summons a Ring of Frost for 10 seconds. Enemies that entered are incapacitated. Ice Ward, just stop casting, its noise is getting a little obnoxious. Ice Ward, Frost Nova just gets 2 charges. So that's this guy here, does a cone of damage in front of you and freezes enemies in place. Alright. And got Living Bomb. So this one I found was a little bit interesting. Basically throw a bomb onto an enemy, takes some fire damage, and then it explodes onto additional enemies. And the enemies that are hit by the explosion get Living Bomb on them, but it doesn't spread any further than that. So if you got a little group, I could see it actually being useful because it'll do some damage to the primary target, explode, and then everybody explodes again. So not too bad. Unstable Magic, Fireball has a 25% chance to explode on impact, deal extra damage to enemies around it. I think that's kind of similar to the ability here for Arcane, but it's fire based instead. And then Flame Patch. Flame Strike leaves behind a patch of flames which burns enemies within it for fire damage over 8 seconds. So you probably saw that when I dropped it. It left some fiery stuff on the ground. It doesn't normally do that. And then last we got the level 100s here. So Fireball, Pyroblast, and Fire Blast. Critical strikes reduce the remaining cooldown on Combustion by 1 second. And where is... yeah, Combustion, that's this guy here. So it normally has a 2-minute cooldown. And, oh yeah, this is the thing that gives me 100% crit chance for a little bit. The other cool thing about it actually is it grants you mastery equal to your critical strike stat. So I'm wondering if that's the boosted one, or what your crit normally is. Because if it boosts, it says it boosts your crit and grants you mastery equal to the critical strike stat. So yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe. So maybe it boosts it. So I don't know if it does it like so. Here I've got 723 crit points. Basically, it turns into, and so I don't know if it's talking about that or if say I got a 27% chance, adds 100, so I get 127 mastery like points that adds in here. So that's something that I wish this was working right now and I could figure it out, but I'm not gonna bother messing with it too much. But anyway, so Kindling reduces the cooldown on that when you cast those spells. Cinderstorm throws a spread of 6 cinders that travel in an arc, each dealing some fire damage to enemies it hits. Damage increased by 30% if the target is affected by your ignite, which that's what the mastery ability is. So targets burn for additional damage so burn for additional percentage of damage over 9 seconds of the total direct damage caused by the specific spells that are direct damage spells. So like where is it? Well, like I guess so using Living Bomb as an example, the main target. Actually, Living Bomb isn't on the list, so so Living Bomb wouldn't apply there. But where's one? The one that had like an explosion. Thought I had one that did something like that, but it doesn't seem to have those spells listed. So okay, yeah. So basically, those spells that do direct damage, like Fireball, Meteor, whatnot, enemies take additional damage, and then every 2 seconds that ignite can spread to other enemies. And what this does is basically if they have that ignite thing on them, so if I've already done damage to them with one of those spells essentially, then they take extra damage. And last, this is the one that I went with, is Meteor. Calls down a meteor which lands at the target location after 3 seconds, dealing some fire damage, split evenly between all targets within 8 yards, and then burns the ground, dealing fire damage to all enemies in the area. So that's the Fire Mage, and I think I'll just go ahead and end it with the fiery stuff here. And apparently like mumbling to myself, but sorry that it keeps doing this with the mage videos here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with those, but oh well, sorry, like I don't know how to fix it there. But thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to don't forget to take that like button, don't forget to take that subscribe button as well to get updates when new content drops on the channel here. And do remember that there is no IRL, just AFKs, and we'll see you next time that Amo plays World of Warcraft. Peace out.